All right. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Nerv. It's a little after 9:30 this morning. CTA was struggling today. Might have had too much fun at their St. Patty's Day celebrations. Yesterday is a very busy day. So most of the celebrations for St. Patrick's Day are yesterday. They died at River Green. I was thinking about stopping by up there. Good morning, Ellie. But if you go up there, it's a 15, 20-minute walk to get down here. And I just didn't have that kind of time this morning. Pretty chilly down here this morning. I think with the wind chill, we're just above freezing. So we'll see how long I can stand being out here. I do have our sign with the still misspelled. I've got Aaron Smith Levin's name out of order. And then on the other side is all of the crimes. I think we saw that, what was it, Friday that I was out here? I think we'll see Israel this afternoon. You may remember him from both Wednesday and Friday. Shannon and I were able to chat with him on Wednesday. And then he was out here again on Friday. And I might have a friend stopping by today as well. Hey, for the replay crew, please make sure you like and subscribe. Wait, not make sure, just please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. The other one is what I'm going to do with these, and I'll put a description in the link, or a link in the description below later on. But I'm going to speed run these lives because the lives, they're a couple of hours, and there's some boring moments in that process. So I have been putting chapters in these lives, but I'll also do the speed run so we can kind of get right to the interactions or anything interesting that's been happening while we're out here. And if we've got any folks from Columbia watching, or any of the colleges around here, Roosevelt, DePaul, Robert Morris, if you can get a hold of me, and my link is in the profile, or my email is in the profile, right? Windy City Phaeton Watch at gmail.com. I'd definitely like to have a chat with you, see what your experience has been so far. My guess is the experiences are a little bit more private now that the recruiters are inside the buildings, so they're able to do their proselytizing out of the public site. Again, it's just after 9:30, so the org has probably just opened. Oh, we have open doors. So Printer's Row is open. The cult of Scientology is awake and ready to indoctrinate new members. It looks like there might be a little bit less reflection because, again, it's not necessarily overcast. It's just that the imprint building is blocking a lot of the sun. So we're not getting much over there. Oh. And we've got some members inside. Let's see if we can get them, if we can enable the blind tech. Yep. I'm displaying to them. Oh, you can see it in the reflection, right? Helping them get out. Oh, look at this. In force. The troops are bringing down the blinds. So as we can tell, the best disinfectant for Scientology is sunlight, and they just can't tolerate the sunlight. They need to operate in the shadows. As we came in this morning, so right, it's just after opening, so their publics are allowed in right now. I don't think you'll be able to see the sign because of the way that this door is closed right now, but the sign is telling you that on Saturday and Sunday, they're open at 9:30 a.m. Morning, Monica. Oh, look at that, broken blinds. So the cult has to hide from the public. They're welcome to everybody, but they're ashamed and afraid to be able to see anything in public. Let me, you know what, there's less wind today, so I can probably show the sign. So there's our sign. This is just a mock-up of the same billboard that was outside of Hollywood. Yeah, blind tech fail, thanks, Ellie. This is just the sign that was outside of Hollywood last week for the few days before Scientology pulled it down and Clear Channel caved and refused to put it back up. If we look at the wings on this, you're going to, oh, sorry, I'm showing you the pole. If we look at the wings, I'm showing them, hey, there are some people that have successfully left Scientology and they're able to make money. And then on the other side, and we do have a little bit of wind, so I can't hold it there for too long. These are all of the crimes, right? Yeah, my goal is to be here often enough that they have to bring those blinds down all the time. Anytime you want out, we can help. Please stop protecting child abusers. Please stop protecting the criminals. So I'll still be able to see them in through this little window blind because apparently they forgot that they've got this extra small blind that's got to go in there. I don't know if you can see the wood carving of the Scientology cross back there. One of the things that you might have seen when I first showed up was one of the members inside of there was a person of color. And just a reminder that LRH's original writings showed that people of color were degraded human beings. So it's very astounding that a person of color can buy into the fallacy of this church. So, on the title today, right? Hey, leprechauns are fake. So is Scientology. So is Xenu. Right. Here we have the nice sign of Scientology. Oh yeah, from this sign we'll be able to see the hours a little bit easier. Right. So you've got that. And look, they have a director of public affairs. So if you're looking for inquiries, you can get that. Oh, door tech enabled. They've been able to close the other door. Morning, Jen. I'm going to give them a B+ because they didn't get all the blinds. Now, I will say I'm happy that they're getting faster with the blinds. So we've got that going for us. It's a very crisp morning out here, but fortunately there's very little wind. So the wind chill isn't terrible today. If you watched on Friday, you would have seen that I was able to, well, I wouldn't say engage, but we saw a newer person coming out of the org, right? He looked a little bit confused, wanted to come towards the sign. And as he was coming towards the sign, one of the members in a vest, and I've recently found out that that person is a Scientology staff member, not a Sea Org member. Her name is Jessica. She works for a Scientologist who is a disbarred lawyer. She's an executive assistant, I think, or she works there. I don't know exactly what her position is in that organization. The organization is Dreammaker. I think it's called Dreammaker. Good morning, my Tony. That one of the things that I find interesting about the organization is that the ex-Scientologist is both a disbarred lawyer and is a absolutely white male with an Italian last name. Now that doesn't mean anything, right? I could, you can have a last name that is remnant of an ethnicity or nationality and be multiple generations away from it. But this person is a white male, and the claim of their organization is that they run the a minority-owned. They're the biggest minority-owned investment group in Chicago, which, by the way, all of that is BS because obviously he's not minority. It is not the largest minority-owned investment group in Chicago. If you look on their site, you'll see that they're one of the founders' son is also one of the officers, so keeping it all in the family. And I'm sure that it's we're walking down by Columbia now. There are plenty of wealthy Scientologists, so the person is obviously a public. Being a public, right, they're able to hire Scientologists and give them jobs so that they can work as staff members, because we know that the staff members aren't making any money. I think we saw from Confident Chris this morning, he put up a little post on what the typical wages were, right? 110 hours and $47 a week. But that's how these people really are able to sustain themselves, is they work for a Scientologist for a wage, for a living wage, potentially. And then they're able to come on staff. Now, what I'd be curious is if part of their agreement with that firm that they work for, if they're obliged to work for the church, which would be interesting if that's a violation of the idea that they're actually volunteers of the church. And I'd also be curious to understand if labor laws would allow for that to occur. Hey, JP, I'm sorry, not Thanksgiving. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's slow here. I doubt that they're going to be out on the street today. It's a chilly day. Most of the Chicagoans are recovering from last night. Typically Saturday of Thanksgiving, whether it's the weekend before or weekend after, it's which weekend's closest, is when they decide to dye the river, and the river was dyed yesterday. So all of the folks were down here partying yesterday. Also, what I was able to, I'm going to go ahead and take a loop around back real quick because it's so slow out front here right now. That the whole city, across the nation, everybody's Irish this weekend. So the trains are just absolutely packed, going every direction. You want to go into the neighborhoods where you've got somewhat more reasonably sized bars so you can possibly get in. The lines on some of these bars is ridiculous. Yesterday morning, I was out on a run and I went past Lolly's, which, if any of you are Chicago Fire fans, the TV show Chicago Fire, I can't remember if Lolly's is the public name and then it's Maggie's or Molly's is the TV show name of it. But that bar at I think it was 7:30 already had a line that was a block long of people ready to go in and celebrate with their green beer and their Irish for a day pass. Ah, thanks, Judy. It's a really small bar. It's got a neat little side yard to it as well. I love those neighborhood bars. And Chicago, well, I would guess that any big city is famous for these kind of hideaway bars. Um, that neighborhood has a lot of them, but every neighborhood in Chicago really does. Yeah, we're not seeing much in the alley today. Um, remember, it's Sunday. Um, it used to be, and I've lived in the central business district for 8 years or so. Um, Weekends are actually kind of nice for the people who live here because we just don't have the crowds, right? And you can actually go to the store when you want to. You can go to the bar when you want to. Now, the one thing I'll say is a downside is, especially with COVID, um, a lot of the places will close on the weekend because they just can't, they don't do enough business during the week anymore to sustain those weekend hours. Hey, Declared, how are you? I saw you were out at the Cincy, you and Sherry were out at the Cincy org yesterday. Um, just a reminder that these cameras and this loading dock is the college. And then we have, this feels new. What is the, okay, so there's a chain driven, no, it's very rusted, so apparently I just haven't seen it before. I'm wondering what that winch is for. My guess is that the little eyelet hook below it is something to lift up and down, but I can't imagine what the advantage of lifting something up and down would be here. Oh, now I see what it is. If you put a hook in there, it's a hand crank for an awning, and then the chain drive is probably rolling up this, small little garage door or overhead door. That is Scientology. So the whole brick building here, right, is Scientology. They've left some of their wares out back here. So they've got a new printer, the LaserJet Pro M255DW. Let's see what they've got here. We've probably got some names and addresses on there. Probably not a great idea to leave that out here. And then right on the back door, we've got the same placard for hours. This isn't the hours. This is the public affairs number that's on there. And then continuing down the alley, which I'm sure you guys are bored of this alley by now. We're seeing the rest of the org. Now, I'm going to say you're seeing right here. It's easier to see at the top, right? We've got the obvious delineation of the two buildings here. While I will agree that on opening day, they did have a wire that was coming from the church over Paisanos. I think it was just so that they had another camera angle for the opening event that was occurring. But there is no evidence of anything penetrating over to this building right now. It could be on the inside, but there's nothing on the outside that shows that there's anything going on there. Morning. Is it back alley or Ellen? Thank you. All right. So if any of you are watching Shannon and this happens to her again, excellent. All I did was I went to the settings and I went to the mic and I switched it off the mic and then back onto the mic. And apparently that's enough to do it without having to turn down or to turn off the stream. So we're back on Clark. And again, it's a chilly morning, so my expectation is that we're going to see a lot of people out here today. And thanks, Alan, for the help. Oh. Catch up to some of these comments. Yeah, I agree with that. It is a paper-based organization, and they copy and CC and BCC everybody as well. That was awesome. I don't know if anybody saw Jeff's interview with the person in London who is an ex, right? And he recently was declared suppressive, and he got his knowledge. They sent his knowledge report to him, even though he's no longer a member of the org. Let's see what else we've got here. This is Dave and Sherry talking about their experience at the Cincy org yesterday. Morning.
Good for you guys.
Thank you. Hey, name. Careful, we're live. Careful, we're live. I know. That's the and by the so name wise, just be careful. That I couldn't answer when I was on here. So sorry. Where were you hiding at? First draft?
No,
Oh, when I walked up the street, I couldn't see it.
The brown line just took.
Yes.
It's very funny stories.
Blue line had a hangover as well.
I have the funny stories.
Okay. I have a friend here right now. Let's see here. Yeah, the mimeograph systems. That's fun. So
what would you like me to do? My thing is all about them discouraging reporting rapes.
Yes. And that's really what it is. So on this side, like as people, so you'll see that there are uniformed people and there are non-uniformed people. The uniformed people are staff members. And for them, it's more like, hey, we'll help you get out anytime you want to. Because these people are really trapped in there financially. They go through an auditing system. And sorry, you guys all know this. So I just kind of...
I've read all about it.
Yeah.
And they pay more to get to higher levels.
Right.
It's insane.
Just ridiculous in that regard. So usually what's happening with the publics, well, even for the staff members, I'll kind of say, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you could stop covering up crimes and supporting rapists and defending rapists in this scenario. So
you try to say anything to anyone walking by. They look at you.
On occasion, it'll be, hey, do you like your new neighbors, right? And almost all of them, nobody's a big fan of what's going on here. I don't think there's any non-Scientologists who support that. Now, if you're a Scientologist, you support it quite a bit. Good morning, Martha.
We got snow.
Yes. Poor leprechauns are going to freeze. So how do you like your new neighbors? Yeah. Scariest thing in the world. They support rapists. They support child trafficking. Yeah, some of the ex-Scientologists who are on YouTube talking about how as teenagers, they're forced into a room to audit, which is kind of like confession on that process. And the people they're auditing are telling the most perverse crimes that they've created. Yeah. Hey, DJ. Street traffic won't be that high. I'm guessing the weather's going to turn down a lot.
Yeah.
It's early on a Saturday or early on a Sunday after St. Patrick's Day.
I'm a dingbat, and I forgot the brown line would be going over the river.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
It's green as heck. So the other one I'll remind you is that they're very litigious. The clock line right there, don't step over it or they'll call the police for a trespass. Now, the police won't do anything.
Okay.
But they will call the police. And the same thing standing on the ledge.
Okay.
But it is fun to peek in the windows.
The Scientologists won't let women report rape to the police. Yeah, I know. I don't.
Good. Yay. My friend's a much better protester than I am. And I want to say I'm an auditor. She goes, yeah, I know. And I don't know, and I don't like Scientology.
Oh.
You can see all of L. Ron Hubbard's fake naval achievements on this first placard here. Early years an explorer. Yeah, that's by no means correct. To me, it's just unfathomable that, and again, I think that we have a very rational mind, right? So, wait, how could you possibly fall for that? But there are so many people that walk into it every day, and as you first walk in, the message is, we're here to save the world, right? Yeah. Yeah, the born-ins are really challenging. There's an awful lot of second gen and some third gen. Yeah, LRH is stolen valor. Good point. Hey, and if you guys could remind me to keep on tagging these comments so that I can put them up in the message. Yeah. But, you know, just like I think that any young person, the entry level is very idealistic, right? They're here to save the world. Look at this. And there's some common sense self-help elements that occur at the entry level. It's like, oh, well, I feel better about myself with what's going on here. It really isn't until you get brainwashed. However, yeah.
Just so you know, our new neighbors do not let women report sexual assault.
No.
That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
They're known for child trafficking as well.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not exactly what I'm saying about the people.
All right. You're hired. You're coming out every time with me. You have much more courage than I do.
What are they going to do? Think I'm nuts?
All right, that's not the right dress for today.
Appreciate the warm leg. Just letting you know, our new neighbors do not let women report sexual assault to the police.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Just putting the heads up.
Thank you for letting me know.
So my friend is letting everybody that passes by understand that Scientology will not let women report their sexual abuses to the police. Ah, that fell on deaf ears.
No,
You shouldn't giggle.
people respond.
I don't think you should giggle at that.
Some people are just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then some people think people coming out here are nutbags. It's all
Correct. Oh, they are able to show signs are when shades are going up. So now I'm going to keep on showing them the sign. Oh, wrong way. Oopsie. Oh, that's not how shades work. And I don't know if anybody wants to see if they can recognize who this is so they can figure out if their family is looking for them. I'm not sure if the reflection is showing well or not on this. And yes, by the end of the day, we have to figure out what teams we're going to choose for Selection Sunday.
Look at this dog.
They're taking nice pictures of us.
Sexual assault is bad.
Yeah, we disagree with sexual assault. That's good.
Women should be able to
Yep.
report sexual assault to the police.
If you need out, let us know. If you need out, let us know.
Our new neighbors ban women from reporting sexual assault to the police. Just a heads up.
Yeah.
Oh, one of them. There's so many documentaries.
Exactly. Exactly.
Your dog's a pretty, by the way. I like the color. Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder if on this, I don't know that, I don't want to claim that they're listening to me, but the idea that says, if you bring your shades down and you're trying to profess as a church, you're welcoming everybody and you have to operate in the shadows, that doesn't sound right. So, yeah, I have no best side. Can you do me a favor? Can you, so if you hold this for just a second, I am going to put some gloves on.
Oh my goodness. This is pretty neat. Sexual assault is bad, and women should be able to report it to the police.
We don't support child trafficking, but it's good that you protect them, right?
There's only 2 ways to go on rape.
We can get you out anytime you want. So then again, you're seeing that is staff member, right?
Yeah.
On there. Thank you so much. As you can see, they've
Just
opened.
so you know, our new addition to the neighborhood bans women from reporting sexual assault to the police.
Excellent.
Well, I'm making sure all the women know.
So I don't know if you remember this. So last night, Aaron, by the way, Aaron is just kind of a, he's a popular YouTuber. Oh, very nice. I remember those from Ragnar days. No, you had the mugs. You have the mugs too. So Aaron had mentioned that they don't blast report all of this protest to all of the organizations because they don't want all of the organizations to know that there's protests. They really only tell each organization individually. So right now, there's maybe 10 or 12 of them that were, well, the LA one is basically shut down. So, and LA is their most important one. That's where the most foot traffic occurs. And the protesters, it's really just some young YouTubers that, I apologize, some young adults who are YouTubers, and William Good, who they pissed off William Good one day. William Good is a police watcher, a police auditor, who makes people, why do you have these people in cuffs when they're not supposed to be under arrest and all that kind of stuff. And he was doing it in front of the Scientology building one day. And the Scientologist came out and said, hey, get off our sidewalk, and started really ranking on him because they support, the police support Scientology and the Scientologists support the LA police.
Sorry, one moment.
Yep.
Just so you know, our neighbors ban the reporting of rape to the police.
So he once said, I'm going to end you. And he was, for the last 3-4 months, he's been out there every day, and he's just kind of, there's been an aggregation of disgruntled young people saying, yeah, I don't want this either. So they've been crushing it there. Austin just opened one of these same organizations the week before
I'm going
this.
to do this in Clearwater as an architecture.
Yes.
No other reason
Right.
than architecture is cool, you mopes.
Yes. And that's, so if we look in here, right, this is a historic building,
Yeah.
right? The Art Craft building.
Where's the art?
Right now, again, there's not many public, so I'm really just kind of putting the signage into the org that is the billboard message of, if you want out, Aftermath will help. And yes, as soon as Aaron, when he, there's another person who's going to create another organization similar to Aftermath. It's in the process of finalizing the 503c process. So there'll be others. This church supports child trafficking. It's good that you're willing to go in there now. This means you support child trafficking, just so you're aware.
Tell me more about the child trafficking.
So what happens is they'll separate families. If your child signs up, it's a cult and you know it, right? So thanks for supporting child trafficking. Thanks for supporting rapists. What they'll do is they'll separate families. You'll sign the billion-year contract, and then they'll put you on one base and they'll put your family on another base. The other one is that what's Miriam's last name? By the way, there's hundreds of these stories, but one of the people, she was assaulted by her father in Florida. I think she's Australian. It happened, to the best of my knowledge, in Florida, mostly irrelevant. But as soon as one of them confessed it in audit, they sent the daughter back to Australia and the father to England so that they'd be out of jurisdiction and couldn't be held accountable for the rape. Or I guess it's sexual abuse, which is still a problem. And that's where they do the human trafficking.
Sexual assault is bad, and you should be able to report that to the police.
You're protecting criminals. Oh, and you're not really doing well with the door. So, can you hold this for a second?
So are they all coming in for a service? Why this specific time?
Yeah, so they can come in anytime they want to on this.
Sorry, I just want to let you know your new neighbor prohibits the reporting of sexual assault by its members to police. I just want to let everyone know. That's awful. It is awful. As a woman, you should be able to get the resources and the help and the report like this. You know, it kills you.
Yeah, a few students from the Goy have been going in
Yeah.
and like doing that stuff. This is crazy. I don't know if they know this, but kind of use cult techniques to get people.
100% cult
indoctrinated,
techniques.
Right?
I don't know.
That's why, look at the sign is like, you need to leave. There are people that can help.
Get the hell out of
I'm upset with you, but I also want to help you. So,
Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Sorry, let me go back here real quick. Dave, they pulled the shades down very quickly, and then 5-10 minutes ago, they brought the shades back up. So I think I did well today.
Just so you know, they prohibit the reporting of sexual assault to the police.
Some of the other so the financial fraud, I don't know if you remember the Chase Wave. So they would take their members, because they get all the in these audit sessions, you're giving them information to blackmail you, right? Isn't this the kind fellow that he was going to give me the interview the other day, as he tried to lure me away from the entrance so I wouldn't see the college recruiters going out to the college bases? And yes, he is. So the other day, I was here. There were about 9 college-age kids. They walked in, and I'm sure they were new recruits of some sort. Then 3 of them walked out, went straight into Columbia, and they badged in. So they're obviously students in that place, or at least residents. But I think in order to be a resident, you have to be a student of the college in that space. And then there were about 6 more that were in here. I was the only one here that night. There's a back alley, and I think they took the other 2 teens out the back so that they could avoid me seeing which colleges they were going to in that space. You ready to give me that interview now? Because Scientology is really good with communication, right? They taught you how to communicate, and yet you can't communicate. What's your short story for the day? And it's funny, they're paramilitary, so they fake military type of terms. So they'll say that we're allowed to tell short stories, which you and I would call them lies to people that aren't in the org. They also are very well drilled on the idea that we're absolutely batshit crazy, that we're being paid to thwart their efforts. Well, it's excellent that somebody's paying us all. I'm just not making much money on it.
I could use the money.
Yeah.
I'll be a paid
Right.
protester. What do you want me to do? What are you paying? What's the hourly? Are there any benefits?
Yep. This is true, and as soon as that happens, I'm going to change the sign because I'll say that I have a problem with the Aftermath's lack of diversity on their board. I'm not going to say I'm anti, but I would rather promote a more diverse board in that situation. And what that was is somebody just said that Aaron is starting a new 503c. The Aftermath Foundation. Right now, it's 6 main board members are 3 married couples. And they're also people who were ex-executives of Scientology. And
Happy St. Patrick's Day, gentlemen.
yes, as high-level ex-Scientologists, it can be a little bit intimidating for somebody who's trying to leave Scientology to see these big-named people in there. Thank you so much. Now go stay warm for a while. Yes. My expectation is that most are.
And not me. Well, yeah, I would go out after that long day at work. I would make rent in one day. It would take 7 years off my life. Go over to Rossi's and get a camera.
So one thing, and I'm struggling because I've always liked Paisans. I think that Paisans is helping them, which is the pizza place right here.
Oh,
Which is different than you, right? It's different than the place you were at. Now there's several of these. They've got 4 or 5 different locations, but on the day of the celebration, when they shut down the street, and if you go and look at that, it was a cluster. They violated every term of their permit that day. They allowed the church to put cameras on top of their roof so they could get an additional angle of the celebration. And then it was either Wednesday or Friday. There was an audio-visual team that was here, and it felt like they were loading stuff in through Paisans so that we wouldn't see them here, because they both have entry to the back alley on this process.
And so they do some kind of a service or something like that?
So it's never a mass service. It's always one-on-one.
I see.
And that's what we'll say.
There's a gathering right now,
Yeah.
or
No.
they're just-
Now, they will do seminars, and they have a relationship with Nation of Islam, which is bizarre.
Oh, batshit crazy again.
And that this,
Those were the worst.
you used to be scared as hell about this church because it was so litigious, and they would come after you and fair game you. But they're a paper tiger these days, right? They'll threaten lawsuits, but they won't actually follow through with the lawsuit because they can't stand the deposition. But Nation of Islam, I would say their tactics they tend to be more on the physical side, and I would say I'd be more worried about a Nation of Islam element. But one of the things that if you read, and they've since tried to greenwash it, if you read early LRH, people of color were degraded human beings. So he thought that they weren't worthwhile. How are you people entering this church and saying, yes, I want to stand for this church?
The last neighborhood protest I was in that wasn't a big anti-war something in their downtown was actually at a church in Lakeview.
Right.
Well before they became known. What was that? The Westboro Baptist Church.
Yes.
Came to my little church on Broadway, a little church in the neighborhood on Broadway, because they were doing ceremonies back pre-marriage. And so everyone from the neighborhood was like, Just so you know, our new neighbor bans women from reporting sexual assault to the police.
Do you know who this is? Church of Scientology? Have you ever heard of them? Terrible cult. So they do child trafficking, separating families.
You have to pay to keep going higher in their church. Like each level, you have to donate thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to reach the next level.
That's what I would.
Yeah.
It's
I don't even have $1.
So yes, you would not
We
be
both homeless. So
Yep.
I'm telling you, you would not be.
And I don't have any cash with me today. I apologize.
Oh yeah, sorry.
could you buy some food or something? We both homeless. Both of us. We've been homeless for, that's how I met him. Through our homeless route.
Yeah.
Get a chair?
Tell you what. Hold that for a minute.
Okay.
Let's go get a sandwich. You don't have to say anything bad. Oh, wait. I'm going to put that on mute for a second.
Okay, do it.
Okay.
And I told him I'm against sexual assault.
Yes. All right. How's it sound? Because I don't know if it keeps paired while I go away.
It's for people that need help getting out of it. There are resources. Gotta give people a little help.
That's one of the key things God said in the Bible.
It's better than, their
Just help me out.
parents were and they were raised in it, they need a little help.
Gotta help each other.
So I just took a quick trip. You know what? I need to get a cable in here because I think my battery is fading on the
That pull there.
on here. Yeah, let me get that in there. I'm gonna take it off the gimbal real quick and then recharge or reset the gimbal. 1 second, everybody.
I'm against sexual assault. Women should be able to report that to the police.
Let me check that. I think that my mic just went nuts. All right. If you could head over to Israel's channel and get him some subscribers so he can go live as well. He'll need 50 to go live, but it takes a while to do it mobilely, so he'll be without it for about a week.
Just so you know, our new neighbor bans women from reporting sexual assault to the police.
Oh, I know. Don't worry.
Just want to make sure everyone knows. Everyone's got a mother or a sister. They want them to have choices. You ladies probably already know this, but our new neighbor prohibits women from reporting sexual assault to the police.
Yeah, thanks, Miss Kim. Good advice. And it's just good to have people out here, right, and sharing the message, spreading the message.
Our new
How do you like our new
neighbor
cultists?
prohibits women from reporting sexual assault to the police. A woman should have
I
that.
gotta tell you, I saw you out here when they were taking that big photo,
Right.
and I'm glad to see that you weren't.
Thank you so much.
Against
I appreciate it.
Against sexual assault, I think a woman should have reported to the police if they want.
You'd think
Simple, right?
this is common sense.
Right.
This isn't some big crazy
I
thing.
support what you're doing.
Thank you so much. So, as I had mentioned to you, that they had just opened this, March 3rd was this. They've owned the building since 2007.
Just so you know, our new neighbor prohibits women from reporting sexual assault to the police.
What?
They prohibit women, if a church member sexually assaults a woman, they don't let the women report it to the police. You should have that choice if you belong anywhere you live.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm against sexual assault. I mean, for a woman being able to report it. So
Yeah, I don't know if I've got.
just giving up on that.
I'm intrigued by what's going on here. Are they gonna come over? Let's see what the church has told them. So the church will tell them all kinds of lies about what's gone on. And the first district, Commander Harris, while there's no paper trail, it's absolutely evident that on the day of the protest or the day of the opening, he was supporting them. And they go in there and the police will chat with them for an hour or so, and then come out and say, "Oh yeah, here's what the problem is." And they'll come out with lies, like they're claiming the alley back here is a private alley. There's an alley behind this building, and even if it was a private alley, there's easement because you need to allow for the garbage trucks to go through.
All that, yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. I'll be curious to see what the short story here is.
Hi,
Very well.
officer. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Very, very well. When you come out, can I have your name and badge number? When you come out, can I have your name and badge number?
Yeah, you
Okay.
I'm out here
Thanks.
just letting women know that they don't let the women who are sexually assaulted by a member, they don't let women report rapes to the police. And I think a woman should be reporting crimes.
And
just giving you the heads up what we're doing.
and now they're going to give you some BS story for calling you out. Do me a favor and
Document everything, but the police see it as really aggressive cameras and bad numbers.
the only reason I want the badge number is so I can do a FOIA later on to understand what the call, why they were called out. If I have the badge number and the time, I can FOIA and say, hey, what was the call? Because it's, in LA, they'll call fire in, they'll say that we have weapons, they'll say that we have BOM things. And there have been swatting of a lot of the members out there. And I'm sure they're going to do it here just the same. Can you do me a favor? Can you turn it to the other side to show the crimes? So if you open it up. It was Miriam. Earlier I said Miriam Francis. It was her and her father that were moved out of the area. The back door just opened and there's a delivery back there. On occasion, I'll go around to the back to see, because again, they don't like sunlight. They want to work in the shadows. A lot of stuff happens out back.
Just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit women from reporting.
Oh, I know. I watched all the documentaries. I know about these clowns.
It's still a surprise to some of the women. I'm like, these are your new neighbors.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice whether you report it.
Yeah, no, I watched the whole series on Leah Remini.
Nice.
So actually, I lived in the same room for like 10 years. They brought this place next to like 2016 or something.
2007.
Yeah.
They started to reconstruct, recondition in 2015, 2016. But they got a lot of flack, and then
it's an interesting move.
Yeah.
From Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
Have a good day, guys. You too.
Thank you.
Just so you know, our new neighbor does not let women report sexual assault to the police.
You say it's numbers. Women just sound so
Now, the other thing that's really interesting about that is that if one of us did something, they would do anything they could to get all of their. Really? It's a 2-cop call?
Oh my
Nice.
goodness.
What was I saying?
I'm gonna be sweet.
Oh, they'll share their video. They've got so much surveillance in California that the police come to them if they're trying to solve crimes. And if it's somebody not associated with the church, more than happy to help you. But if it's anything showing something the church did, no. Somehow that film got deleted. So I don't know if you heard the female cop, but she said there's a third one coming. So Commander Harris at large. So we've got car 8498, car 7905. And again, I want everybody to know, I am not anti-police. Every interaction I've had with the police here, they've explained that, hey, you're allowed to do whatever you're doing, just don't trespass. There have been some bad police, right? And in any group of people, there are good apples and bad apples. I don't want people to think that the police are bad and dangerous and you shouldn't be able to approach them for safety and security. Fortunately, it's a Sunday, so there's not a lot of traffic, but these fun calls for the police, hey, we're taking up a parking spot and we're taking up a lane of traffic, right? I actually feel so. The two guys that came by and I went and got them something. I ended up getting a hot dog and pita bread. So it's like, oh, I'm giving you bad food.
I thought they were gonna, because the one guy had a Four Loko in his hand. I
Yes.
assumed she'd be like, how about another Four Loko?
All right. The elderly gentleman coming across the street. So they're elder abuse. It's free labor while you're in here, and then to the point when you're no longer a productive person, they don't even really put you in a nursing home. They kind of just send you to the side of the street.
A lot of people join religion for a sense of belonging.
Correct.
A lot of elderly people have a big problem with loneliness.
We can get you out anytime you want to. Just ask for help. We'll help you get out. We can help you escape. Yeah, my hope is they come up and help you in. The door over here is open.
Just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit people from reporting sexual assault.
All right, so the police are out back. So here's what I think. Here's what they're going to say. The church out back, they had some packages out there.
Yeah.
And I took film of their packages, but they're gonna claim that I trespassed. But you'll see that I wasn't. Just to see that it was like they were getting printers and scanners delivered. We're seeing right here that they've got the little coat closet right inside the door. So this elderly woman putting away her coat, right?
Ladies, just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit women from reporting sexual assault. And you're for sexual assault and not being able to report it to the police?
Child trafficking is their forte, and you're supporting it. That's the part that's really, like, I hate that a lot. Because those children can't consent.
But I said something that those kids may not have.
Right.
And not just random ones, a very specific one. Just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit women from reporting sexual assault. As a woman, you should have it.
As a woman, you should be allowed not to be sexually assaulted.
Just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit their women, their members from reporting sexual assault.
So we can see the police in there. I'm not sure if you're seeing the reflection on the window or not, but two police in there sitting at the admin desk. And the sign-in of a child, right? How old's that kid? 15, 16 years old? Oh, and his younger sister? Terrible. Absolutely atrocious. Guy's in there giving his short story. Safe pointing the police. Not sure if the police are ready to come out yet.
Make sure he is.
And again, we're seeing the children in that family setting, mom bringing their kids in, setting them up, signing them up for the cult.
Just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit women from reporting sexual assault. They prohibit women, their members, from reporting sexual assault to the police.
So again, safe pointing the police. I don't.
Just so you know, they prohibit women from reporting sexual assault.
Hello. Can I have your name and badge number, please?
I'm on later on what they were complaining about.
Sure, I'm Officer Garcia. My star number is 12285.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. They prohibit women
Also
from
active.
reporting their
Stand
members
by
from reporting
18699.
sexual
Thank you, sir.
assault.
Thank you for your service.
That's why I'm here. My dad
Thank
was
you
a
for your
cop for
service.
36 years, and he was out here in the burbs, then 10 years in Largo, Florida, next to their headquarters in Clearwater. He said that as a cop, they're the best people to be next to because they cause no problems. They don't report anything. They also don't report anything. So,
Can I ask what the call was?
no.
It's just disturbance, that's all.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we've been staying
And
back
in
there
any way,
talking
did you see
about
disturbance?
women walking by,
Did you
so
see
they know.
disturbance?
Sir,
As a woman,
I just talked to the
women
police.
to
I don't understand.
come forward and report a rape. That's all.
It's a scary thing.
It's
And
done by their numbers.
child trafficking. You saw the children walk in just now?
Okay, I'm
Thank you, sir.
Well, I hope you have a good St. Patty's Day. You don't have to deal too many draws.
Yes.
I hope this is the biggest trauma of the
How'd you
day.
survive last night? Yeah.
all right. you
Last night's
take care.
worse, right?
Thank you. Have a
Take
good
care.
day.
Thank you. Thank you, officer. Have a safe day. Oh, they're schizophrenic. Is it shades up or shades down? Are we okay to see the public or not okay to see the public? And I think so. I think that they broke this blind, this thin blind here. They weren't able to bring it down earlier, and they're not able to bring it down now.
Just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit women from reporting sexual assault to the police.
So I don't know if you heard the police, but they were called out for a disturbance, and you could tell that they were suspect of the call. I had asked the officer, did you see a disturbance? He was unwilling to answer. He said he was just out here to answer their complaint. And again, what's annoying is that that's a tax paid for resource, and this is a tax-free church. So they're exempt from paying taxes. However, they're allowed to consume all the resources that taxes should support. Just to move, but do you want to take a lap around back?
Ladies, just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit women from reporting sexual assault to the police. Why do women do it?
Part of it is, right, we're two weird people on a sidewalk with unsolicited feedback.
Just so you know, our new neighbors prohibit women from reporting sexual assault to the police.
You want to take a lap around back? Hey, I just wanted to walk to get some heat
Okay,
in my
I
system.
need to head over to
Okay,
Gary's
no problem.
soon. Or,
You know what? I'm probably not going to be here much longer either. So we'll have others down here.
Me? I need to stop at my place and get things I was
Yeah.
going to give him. And
Yes. All right. Let's. I'm gonna walk down and we'll walk through the alley, and then we'll go ahead and close the live right now.
what are you going to do with will it fit in your backpack?
I just put it on. I actually like to leave it on out on the train because it asks people, "What is that sign all about?" What was I saying? Oh, again, I want to mention that was a rather good contact with police, right?
Yeah, that was.
There are some police that are 100% in bed with the organization. Maybe they're members, maybe they're just people that are being paid for that support. But the police really aren't listening to their bullshit like they do in Hollywood. In Hollywood, I think
being able to tell a woman that this is something that I want women to go to the police. I want them to
Right.
be able to use them as a resource. I think that came out as a very pro. You guys are here. I think they should also be able to talk to you all and have that option.
correct. Just a reminder, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to see Shannon out this afternoon. I know Israel was thinking about coming out this afternoon, so make sure to stay tuned. I might be back later. For now, I need to thaw out a bit. Good morning. So I'll bet what it was is when she said there was a third cop, I'll bet the third cop was the one that was back here. Because when they opened up the door from in front, I could see a car back here, and the car probably was the third cop. Oh, that's very cool. I don't know if you could see that, but the plane flying past the crane. Chicago works, right? Sears Tower. It's got a new name. I don't know what the hell it is, but we'll call it the Sears Tower. And by the way,
I told you I was a dummy on the brown line. I forgot to be off my camera ready. I forgot that one.
the other one, and this one is tougher for me. It's the Congress Expressway, but I'm a fan of Ida B. Wells and what she did, so I can almost say that. Although there's an.
I wish they renamed, and there's probably waterway things. I wish they renamed the Chicago River the DuSable River.
Yeah.
In the meantime, it's like.
Yeah.
And it's the Rosemont Horizon. And it's Swedish Covenant.
Yes. Wait, what's Swedish Covenant? Is that a hospital that's renamed?
It's right around the corner from you, but now it's just Swedish Hospital.
Ah.
But Angela, when she came in town, she kept correcting me because they happened while I was gone.
So this is the packaging that they've left out here. This one is they're building 2 brick sections. All right. Folks, I appreciate y'all being here. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. No, you gotta wait from this side. Yeah. You want to? So this is my friend who goes out here helping and just reminding the women of how their rights are being violated and taken away from, stripped from them inside this organization.
If we're sexually assaulted, to go to the police, not go to the police, that should be our call, not their call. And that includes the members, that includes non-members. Every single one should have that choice. So that's why I'm here.
Excellent. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Folks, stay tuned this afternoon for more of the audits.